we came to your first Wembley final. Can you tell us about the build-up to that, Dick, and everything that went on that week?
Well, it was terrific. We left St Helens, went to Windsor, I think it was, where our hotel was. Beautiful place. And over the few days, it was starting to build up the tension. Plus, Vince was doing his usual thing. He's motivating again. And we used to have the lads used to get together after or before dinner and have a discussion, and it's all about the game, it's all that's on your mind. And then when the great day comes, you're in the coach and you head towards Wembley and you see it, and if you never saw it before, the impression was tremendous.
As I say, the Twin Towers.
The Twin Towers and everything's beautiful. And of course by this time the old knots in the gut, and you're shown to the dressing rooms and they're impressive, and there was a few people in the crowd starting to build up, and we were all just talking and trying to get each other going, and it was just such a build up, and it kept getting more tense and more tense until we were actually stripped, ready to go out. And of course it was very, very hot that day, and we went out, and the tunnel then, the old tunnel, was about 30 yards across, and Wigan were lined up on that side and we were lined up on the right side, and all between us, the concrete ramp was covered in stretchers with people on them that had collapsed in the heat, and you thought to yourself, good grief, what's going to go on here, Anyway, you run out in the raw, God, gets you, the hairs on your back of your neck stand up, and you say, I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but I was thinking, well, they're not going to beat us today, It had all been built up, and this was it. And then you motivated yourself, and you got yourself set. Terrific. Couldn't beat it.
What did it feel when you walked out, that feeling? They say that some people go a little bit, don't they, at first when they hear that. It's overwhelming for them, and then they start playing a little bit later in the game. How did you feel?
Oh, I was straight on the ball.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, I could always handle a big occasion. I don't know why, but I always fell straight into it,
Do you notice the crowd when you make a 60-yard burst like 95?
Not when I make the burst, but like when I walked out of Wembley, God, yeah. Then, but as I say, when I make a break, I don't. But of course, when he's gone and Alex scored when I made that break, you hear the crowd then, Yeah, all you concentrate on is that, getting there.
For the first try, Vince gave you a pass, didn't it? And then you put.
He gave me a pass, and if Frank Collier had have tried to tackle me orthodox, he probably got me. But Frank come in with the stiff arm, and of course the old hand off again, and I sat Frank on his bum about 5 yards back. There was the gap again, the big one, and I just ran through it, drew Billy, drew Freddie Griffiths, could see Alex, let them. They got close enough so they couldn't reverse the process. Just give Alex it, and he went round the back of the sticks. Beautiful. A good feeling.
It was, yeah. Because you were both quick. Alex was really quick.
Oh, of course, yeah. Over 40 yards and nobody would get him.
Yeah. Because that's what Jim Sullivan made him do as a kid, practice that 40 yards.
40 yards, and he was quick off his mark too.
Yeah.
He was in full stride in one step.
Yeah. Frightening, yeah. No answer to that, is there?
No.
Austin Rhodes kicked the goal.
That's right.
Wigan got 2 penalty goals, kicked by Griffiths, and then came the historic, as they say, Vollenhoven try. What do you remember about that one?
Well, we were feeling the heat, as was Wigan, but they'd had the ball for quite a while, like you could do in the old days, and we were wilting. I mean, I can't speak for the other blokes, but I know I was just about gone. He knocks you around, and once again, poor old Frank, he knocked the ball on, and I've never been as glad to see a ball go loose in my life. I dropped on it as though it was made of gold, and I played it quickly, and of course that's when it went out to Kenny Large in Vol, and away they went. And as I say, what a try that one was, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Into passing, wasn't it?
Oh,
between the
good,
two?
yeah.
Yeah.
Eric came across, Eric Ashton, and Kenny timed it perfection, because he actually gave Kenny a real big push, with knock Kenny down, but Kenny just passed the ball as he hit him, sort of thing. So it was well judged.
And it's, as we said earlier, it's one of the greatest ever tries to be scored in.
Oh, magnificent.
Gunn Griffiths got a penalty goal and the final score was 12-6.
12-6, yeah.
How does it feel when the whistle goes at Wembley and you
Well,
know that you've won?
It's great. You can't explain it. It's just, and such a relief, because we were all gone. We were all tired, exhausted. Wigan as well as us. But I'd really see there again at half time. We were in the dressing room and Alan come. He said, "Come on," he said, "you can win this Lansdowne trophy." I said, "Oh, go on, Alan, you have me on." He said, "I'm telling you, you can win it. We just get into it this half." And that probably kept me going a bit, because I would have loved it. And then the game finished and you're that much over the moon, then you find out you've won that. It's the biggest thing ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Great. You can't explain exactly how good it is.
Something they never take away from you.
No,
in
no.
the record books.
That's right.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tremendous. And when you went back to St Helens, it's listed at over 20,000.
20,000. He started before. We just got out of Liverpool and getting towards Prescott, and he started, and then all the way into St Helens, and right into the Town Hall Square, which is a big one at St Helens, and there was just a sea of faces, and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Because a Wigan St Helens final too, like that was a big thing, wasn't
Means
it?
a lot, yeah.
Yeah. 97, I think, he was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, 90,000.
Yeah.
95,000, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. And did you get on the balcony at the town hall with the
Yeah,
microphone?
we were up on the top of the steps.
You say
Yeah,
out
we
to-
all introduced the crowd.
Right. Did you say out to them, or was it just...
You had to say a few little things, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that
Most of us said, thanks for your support and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that make you more nervous than actually...
Oh,
playing it?
yeah, because
It's not the same as it getting a microphone and performing for a crowd like.
That's right, yeah.
Difficult, isn't it? Yeah. So that was the end of a great year then.
It was,
Stage,
yeah, brilliant.
So in 61-62, the Saints won the cup final against, you say, your winning streak carries on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You won the Lancashire Cup final against Swinton.
That's right,
25-9.
yeah.
Again in front of 30,000.
What was the score?
25-9, and
Yeah, I
Swinton
thought
were a
we
good
beat-
side in those.
Thought we beat them pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I can't remember a lot about that.
no.
But they were a tidy team too. They had, what was his name? The winger, Johnny Stopford.
Right.
He was a funny lad, Johnny. He came to Australia later. He lived there for a while. And he came to the Saints at the Australian reunion. And he said, "Hello." And I didn't even know he was in Australia. I said, "Good God." He said, "Just call me number 5. I said, "What do you mean number 5? He said, "Well, you'd probably only see that on the back of my jumper when I was running away from you."
There were some characters, weren't there?
Oh, yeah.
And in October, Six beat the touring New Zealand side 25-10.
That's right, yes. Yeah, that was a good tour for me too. That series.
Yeah,
As Ali got voted the player of the series, and I got voted the forward of the series
right,
by the New Zealand team,
right.
which was quite a good
It's
honour.
a compliment, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you play 3 tests against?
I did that
yeah.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
And we won. We beat them pretty handily in the end. But they were always very good competition. The New Zealanders.
Yeah.
Never too easy.
Alan Prescott then was sacked as the manager, which was a
That's right. Yeah, Alan. I don't
Sure.
know what went wrong, but we weren't getting the results we had been. So I don't know.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Vince hadn't gone then. No, I don't think had he. No.
No, he was about to go. I
That's
think.
right. There was a lot of.
Who did they bring in at the time?
There was a lot of that sort of stuff going on. You know.
Bit of politics going on.
I can't remember what thing with the when people started arriving there. When did Bill Major didn't come till after Vince was playing for Widnes, and then John Temby, but I think that was a bit after that. So I can't remember who was coming and going then.
No, I can't. No. John Tembitt, big second rower, came, didn't he? In the thought,
That's right.
To replace Vince or what was going. But then Vince was transferred out, wasn't he? To
that's
Widnes.
right, to Widnes.
Yeah. Did you feel that cup winning team was beginning to break up then at that time?
I did. Well, from about then on, I wasn't too happy with things.
Yeah, because it appeared that the team was starting to go down.
It wasn't. We weren't as good at footballing side. There was a couple of forwards wanting the ball of their own all the time, so there wasn't the passing and the interchange and all that.
Yeah.
So it started to go downhill just about 62.
Yeah, because you kind of lost at home in the Challenge Cup to Huddersfield 13-2,
That's right, we
which
did,
was highly unusual for Saints to
they
lose.
put me in the centres that day. I said, please,
In the
don't put
centre?
me in. I said, I'm not a centre. They put me there, so we got beat.
Because you found that in Alex's time as well with Saints that they started playing him at centre. You know,
That's right. Yeah.
Scrum
I mean, in that cup final, he was stand-off, but you could understand that because Wilfie Smith was a specialist half-back and Alex could play a bit of both. So you could expect that, but normally you'd want Alec where he belongs, at the base of the scrum.
Yeah, and he said that, that was like they were trying to persuade him to stay there and bring in other people in, but when you've got one of the world's greatest players, why are you moving him out and bringing in somebody not as good?
That's exactly right, yeah.
But they do it today, don't they? They still play people out of position.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crackers. So then we come to 62-63, and you went on the famous 62 tour.
That's right, yeah.
Which, after the 58 had been fairly miraculous to come away with a win. 62-63 season, that touring team was rated one of the greatest ever.
Well, the 58 side was the best complete touring side, but the 62 was the best test side, plus about 3 players that's ever gone, better than the 58. But there was a few ham and eggers, as you said before, on that one.
Yeah.
Blokes that shouldn't have gone.
Right.
For instance, I know he's a good mate of mine, and I've always got admiration for him as a forward. But I think it was just about past his use-by date. Then it was Jack Wilkinson. Now Stan Owen should have gone, because Stan was playing top rugby then, and Stan would be an ideal out there, big dirty player. He would have caused havoc, Stan.
Because you used to find there's a bit of politics in the selection as well. Each team had a vote on who went, and
that's right, of course.
Pick him, we'll pick.
Well, Yorkshire was very strong then. They're in the selection thing, and there was a lot of Yorkshiremen, and I won't mention any names, but there was 2 or 3 that weren't bad players, but they shouldn't have been there.
When you look at the team, it's that the young lads at 58, yourself and Alex and Eric and all these, had now matured. Now you were getting
mid-20s,
your prime,
and
that was really the 13 that formed the major part. Ike Southward as well was maturing as well. More or less,
but unfortunately, I couldn't get in the team then. There was Sully and who else? Billy.
Yeah. But it was the man who, when he came in, you didn't notice the others were missing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
He was so good. Yeah, they were equal really. And Sully, of course, created records for try scored and record number of tests at 46.
That's right.
Yeah. But that team was now mature, and you showed that the way you played.
Yeah.
How did you go on in New South Wales game that year? Was any fighting in that again?
Yeah, there was, because for instance, in the 3rd test, Beattie and Turner got sent off. There was dismissals in there used to be in the New South Wales and Sydney games, always. So I can't remember who was sent off then, but Sully got sent off once. That's right, because Solly was on the left wing and Peter Diamond was on the right wing, and Solly nearly knocked Peter's head off. It come right across the field, and he decked Peter, and he got his marching orders. That was in one of them games.
Because Sully never took a backward step for a small man, did he?
Oh, he took a bit of watching, Sully.
I think Rick told us about the time he looked round and Proven and other second row were laid out for Aussies, and he looked around and thought, what's happened there, and looked at Mick Sully and had a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
He shook his head. So the first test, Great Britain won 25-8.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and there's one memorable one where you stole the ball in a tackle.
I've got it, Purcell, that's right.
Yeah, made a massive break downfield.
Yeah.
But you were caught by the winger. It took a winger to catch you.
Yeah, catch me, yeah.
Cleary, was it?
Yeah. But I made a heap of breaks in that game, God.
Yeah.
So I've got that one on tape, and every couple of minutes I was making a break. Just brilliant. See it. It's funny how everything clicks sometimes. And yeah. I was really giving it some.
And when you look at the bald result of 25-8, yeah, it's a good win. But then you look at the penalty count, 20-8 against.
Yeah, that's right.
Winning with that score.
It was always that way in them days.
Mm.
Yeah. Darcy Lawler, he was supposed to be a great referee. He never gave us a go.
No.
But there's another referee that he would be in 62, and when he refereed us, he was very fair at Cole Pierce. And he was a good referee, Cole.
So you went on to the second test. You won 17-10.
That was up in Brisbane, and that flattered them. That should have been 30 odd 10. Yeah. Again,
was it penalty kicks that kept him in the game?
Yeah. And the Raleigh got a big game that day too. I remember I had a big break too. I got tackled about a metre off the line from about my own 25. Eddie Lamson, the winger, got me, and I was just having a rest. I'd had a bust and had a go, and I was getting my breath back. And this, I'm talking about Brian McTeague now, and I was looking at play, and I'm trying to get my wind back, and I saw Mac get the ball, and he got his big bum waddling like he used to, and the ball like this. And I could see where he was heading, and I knew there was going to be a gap there, and I thought, oh, here we go again. and I hit it at 100 mile an hour just when Mac went like that. That was what it was like playing with him. Yeah. And away I went. But as I said, Eddie caught me, but I got up and played the ball quick, and Adel point and give it to Billy, and Billy went in anyway, so it was a try.
Yeah. Adel Poynton's a name that you hear from the players, but you don't read much about him.
He was a good halfback, Adel.
Yeah.
He was one of the best. Harold was one of the ones that I said there was the 13 test players plus about 3. Well, he was one of the 3, that you could fill in and do a good job.
Because he'd play full-back, wouldn't he? And
but he was playing half-back because he got hurt, Alex, in the first test, I think. I'm sure it was that. Or it might have been Dave Bolton. He might have been playing standoff.
I think it'd be Dave Bolton.
It would. Yeah, because Alex played. Yeah, that's right. Dave had his shoulder up from a test. Yeah.
Another good win, and then you go on, of course, red hot favourites to win the third and become the first team since 28?
Yeah.
All 3, but very controversial at the end of the game.
Of course it was.
Because you had a few sent off. Did you have? Was it?
Yeah. Beatty was. His shoulder was back and it was gone. And he knew Derek was fiery tempered, so he deliberately got in trouble, and of course Derek went whack off. Right. And I think we did lose somebody else, didn't we?
Mick Sully, I think.
That's right, yeah.
Because he'd seen what had happened to Derek and decided to...
Well, that might have been the one where he went across and stiff-armed Paul Diamond on the other side. Right. Yeah. And then I reckon Eric, for the captain he was, I reckon he made his biggest mistake ever. He put me on the wing, and I needn't have been on the field.
Yeah.
Because, if I was going to make any holes, I'm going to make them down through the middle.
Yeah.
And he didn't put me on. I felt terrible.
Because there were no subs, were there, again, in those days?
Not then, no.
So you were just
No.
moving players about.
Yeah,
Perhaps they thought you were the fastest man left on the field. That could
yeah,
come
but I
up.
wasn't that fast that I couldn't be effective on the wing.
No,
I was down the middle, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who was playing centre to you then if he put you on the wing?
It'd be
Because he'd be centre
it'd be
to
Foxy
them.
or
Foxy.
Eric. Yeah, Ashton.
Foxy, yeah. Even then, you nearly won the game, but didn't you give them a dodgy penalty in the last minute?
He did. He was a forward pass, and he didn't. No, it wasn't a penalty. It was a forward pass to Kenny Irvine, and it was mile forward. It was 2 foot forward, and he scored a try in the corner, and then Kenny had to kick the goal, and he kicked it, but it was higher than the sticks, and I was right behind the goal, and I still say it was outside the posts, but they beat us, and we went off, and the management said to Stuart Hadfield, he said no whinging, no whining about the result. He said that's what they'll want us to do. We won't, so we didn't.
Right.
We just said we got beat. Yeah,
18, 17.
that's right. Yeah,
I know they said, Eric said and Alex said it, Alex went balmy at
Yeah.
the end of the game
yeah,
with the referee. You know,
Yeah.
so you weren't going to have that. But
yeah. Because I mean, there'd never been a 3-0 result then, and that should have been it.
a great tour. Again, you know, the stats: played 21 in Australia, won 18, lost 3.
That's right. Yeah,
and amazing. And the total attendance for the series was 500,000 people.
yeah, yeah.
Incredible figures when you look
Yeah,
at it
that's
now.
right, yeah.
Incredible figures. Again, you played again 24 in the 30.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the
At
trips
the
away
whole
to the country weren't as good. You had to come back the same day.
Oh, did you?
they had
Were they saving
They had
money
them Fokker friendships then. Of course, they were fast. They could get you there and back. So there were none of our debutante balls.
This is the one, of course, where you went on to New Zealand, but then went to New Zealand.
That's right. We went to South Africa
Yeah,
to play 3 games.
Played 9 in New Zealand, won 6, lost 3.
Yeah,
And you picked up some injuries. Was it?
we
Eric
did.
Broad
We
or
did. Yeah, and we
something?
had the egg and what did you call them? The
Eggers.
Eggers in. But as I say, there was some that shouldn't have gone on that tour.
Yeah.
Not knocking the lads, but there was better blokes left behind. For instance, Bobby Dagnall, the hooker, should have gone
Yeah.
instead of Joby Shaw.
So that was the one where
You know, when we were talking about the hooker that ignored me with the pass in the trial game for the
Oh yeah.
other thing, that was Joby.
This is where you went on then to South Africa and Billy couldn't go. What did you feel about that at the time? And the
Well,
team?
there's not much you could do about it.
No.
Nah.
But it was.
And
you
Billy
know,
took it all right. He said, I don't give a bugger.
right.
But there's one thing about that too. So we'd all signed a contract saying that we, like, for instance, the management said we had a meeting in the hotel lounge where we were. And, this was in New Zealand. And they said, now we've got to have 16 players plus Cole Hatton, the coach, and the manager to go to South Africa. And they said, we'll take a voluntary thing, meaning whatever we get, whatever we got to make up, we'll have to try and convince you, or if not, commandeer you, you know. And so they said, put your hands up, and there was about 8 of us put our hands up. And so they finished up, they got the others in the end. And about a week later, we were, oh no, that was right, we went from New Zealand back to Sydney. We'd 5 days in Sydney doing nothing, just sightseeing and that. And then we went to South Africa via the Cocos Islands, and then we had a full day in Mauritius, 24-hour stopover, and then a flight to Joburg. And
Just about in there, Dick. Was it in that time when they arranged that challenge match with St George then? When you'd all, or was it before you went to New Zealand?
no, I don't, not sure.
Because they said St George.
You mean during the tour?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was the 62 in the tour.
during
It was the first time that a Sydney side had played a touring side.
Yeah, because didn't they said, oh, if you'd have had, cause St George had won so
Well,
many grand finals, if
That's
you'd have
what
had St
everybody
George,
was saying to us, see?
yeah,
Because they said these blokes have played together for years. And so it was on, and actually the lads won a few bob with that, because we were backing ourselves.
Right.
And there was a big build-up to that too. It was a miserable Wednesday, and at the cricket ground, and they got 67,000 there. And it was a hard game, very hard game. This was just part and parcel of it. And somebody whacked me, and I thought, oh, well, here we go. Because, I mean, I never did anything like that unless somebody got at me. So I got Proven coming through, and I hit him, and he was dazed. And then, biggest mistake I ever made in my life, I got Billy Wilson. I don't know if you remember Billy. He was a prop in the 59 side. And he was as hard as stone, Billy. Good bloke. We were big mates in the end. And I hit Billy, and I thought I'd broke my arm. I said, oh. I caught him just as he was passing the ball. And I hit him, and the ball went on. Nobody's seen it. And I'm going, oh. And Billy's going. And his eyes are going like this. And I thought, he's got to go down. And he staggered, and he went and got up and trotted off out to play. I said, good grief, you'd need a sledgehammer to knock him down. And can I finish the tale? It'd be better telling you now. And years later, when I was playing with St. George, Billy had moved from St. George, he played for St. George, to North Sydney in his twilight years. And Eddie Lamson, the winger, Australian winger, he was with St. George, and we were talking in the pub after training, we were having a drink, and he said the hardest Billy said he ever got hit was when that Derek Turner got him in that game. And I said to Eddie, don't ever tell him that. I said, it wasn't Derek Turner, I said it was me, I thought it broke my arm. So you wouldn't want to know. Next time we played North Sydney was at North Sydney, and here I am going through, and whack, I lost a tooth back here. I was split right through my gum, and I was dazed, and I was walking around. It was Billy. I said to Eddie, thanks very much. Eddie had told him, and he got me, and oh, jeez, I come to, but it served me right. I should never have told Eddie.
So it was after that then that you went to South Africa and had that 5 days.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say we'd had our 5 days just touring and playing about in Sydney. We went to Joburg and played there, and then the next thing we went to was Durban, and here we are on the beach, and it's beautiful. And all the blokes had been back home for a week then. They would be back down the coal mine and doing this and doing that. And here's me and Roy Evans and Laurie Gilfedder lying on this sand. And we were saying the boys will be back at work now. I said, yes. And there was another humorous incident. We finished sunbaking and having a swim, and we got our shorts and that back on. And there was, in Durban, I don't know if you've ever been there, but there was this... they were actually from a certain tribe, and they used to have licenses to pull these rickshaws along the front, and people used to sit in them, and these blokes used to get, and then used to get a big lope on, and all big fellas, big black African natives, and so there was me and Brian Edgar and Jack Wilkie. We hopped in one. And they had big headdresses on as well, these fellas.
What was your combined weight? About 50?
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, 15, at least 45 and above, 48 stone. And we got in it, and he had to pull it up a slight gradient before he got on flat thing. And we said, can you take us to the King Edward, I think they called the pub, the hotel. So he got us up, and Jack just did it for badness. And he said, have a look at him. And he got us up. I don't know, he did. And we got on straight going, and he was going, but he wasn't enjoying it. And he got his loping going. And Jack says, now when he comes down this time, we all go like this. So we did, and up he went. And he was here hanging about 3 foot off ground. So he dropped, and we got out, and he saw us laughing, and we went over and patted him on the back. By this time, we had a crowd round us. And he took it well, and he's smiling. And so we put him in rickshaw, and he took his hat off, and we got him big shafts, and we pulled him to Prince Edward, him riding, and we all got our change and everything out of our pockets and give him it. It was probably about a week's wage what we give him, and he was laughing. He took it well, and everybody gave us a big clap. They were all following us along the front. It was good.
So how did the matches go in South?
We won them all.
Did you?
Yeah.
Were they well supported? Did you get crowds?
We did in Joburg. That's a Wanderers ground, and there was a few there, like 14, 15,000, something like that. Yeah. And I think the other two, I can't remember now, but they were quite well. It wasn't embarrassingly low. Yeah, but it never kicked on.
No, it's funny because they are a rugby nation, aren't they?
Of course, yeah. I bet if they took it up, they would have been good because everything you ever go at, they're good at, cricket, rugby union.
Yeah,
they
are. Like the Aussies.
That's right. Well, I mean, the climate lends itself to that sort of thing, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So then you get back home. Where were you working then? Were you working down the mines?
I was at Lee Green Colliery in St Helens then,
Right.
Yeah, I was a fitter. Maintenance fitter.
How do you think you'd have gone on with today's full-time professional?
Yeah, I don't know. I often think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the close season when they're not playing, they'd have to meet and do a little bit of something, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because they're getting paid for it. So
I think they have about 8 weeks off. I think, and then they start pre-season.
Well, 8 weeks where they can just do what they like.
I think so.
Jeez, that's not bad, is it?
No. Includes Christmas, I think. Or they might come back just before then. But of course, we kick off in February over here, which is, they say there's no winter rugby, but what's February?
That's right, it's cold.
Yeah, it's still, mind you, summer's been winter this year. So we got to the 1963-64, and you were selected for Britain, and you lost the first 2 tests.
Well, I had I'd contracted asthma. I got bronchitis. I moved to a new house in Billinge, that's in between St Helens and Wigan, and there was these big boulders in the garden, and I thought, the 63 side's coming across, I'll get myself fit here, and I'm getting these out, and I got to catch a cold, and of course, I was too big and strong for that, so I ignored it. Next thing you knew, I'd getting pains right round my back, and I was in a bad way, and I went to see Tony Lomax, the club doctor. He said, how long you been like this? I said, about 10 days. He said, I don't think you'll ever play football again. He said, you got pleurisy. He said, and you're next door to pneumonia. And he was right, because I got rid of it, but I had asthma, bronchial asthma, pretty bad. And I found it to struggle to get on the field for years after that. And I used to have my inhaler, and I used to give it to the trainer. If I wanted, I used to give him a wave and he'd come on and I'd have a puff to keep me going, get me wind back again. But so that was afflicting me in 63, but also I had a broken thumb, a badly broken, big joint. So I was in plaster for a while, and that was when the first test was on. And I went to see it with my missus, and when I saw the way it was turning out, I was only in the crowd, so I was travelling under disguise. I was just one of the spectators, and when I saw that they started to run them tries in, I thought, thank God I've missed this one. And then the second one, I was the same, I still hadn't recovered from this thumb. And the third one, I played one A-team match against Lee, and I said to St Helens, I'm fit, so they put me in the first team against the tourists, and they beat us about 15-8 again.
Right.
And so we had a reception for the Australians back at the town hall in St Helens, and there was a chap that ran the rugby league, and I was saying, he was saying, are you fit? I said, yeah, I'm fit. One game, an A-team game. I said, of course I'm fit. I said, put me in for the third test, you know. And he said, and I said, you've got to get a couple of hard knocks in. I said, I said, somebody like Collier, Frank Collier, and blah blah blah, and they picked the team up. They picked the team, and here's me in it, and this lad from Swinton's in it, and so is Frank Collier's in it. So I thought, oh, let's hope we do all right here. I think
You picked the team.
and we beat them. So I thought, thank God I got away with that.
Yeah, 16-5.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good score.
Yeah.
But it's renowned, that, isn't it, for being one of the stormiest Ashes tests ever, a brute of a match. It was
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Was it all knuckle then? And
Yeah, well, there's. I don't know what Cliff was thinking about, Watson, but I tackled Diamond, and I had him in tow, and we both went down, and Cliff come in with his knees. I don't know why, because I mean everybody saw it. He got sent off, and then my mate, he lives near to me in Australia, Muir, the halfback. He Barry Muir. He the ball come out of the scrum, and Tommy Smells was trying to pick it up, and Barry went woomph, and he always reckons he tried to kick the ball. He didn't try to kick the ball, he tried to kick Tommy. So Clay sent him off, and as he's walking off, Ned Kelly, he said, tell him what you think of him. He said, you won't ever be back here. So Barry turned around and, didn't he give Clay a nice talking to? And then just walked off. And then Brian Ambley got sent off too. But he's the second row. But Brian, it was unusual because he's also a clean player, Brian, a good forward and a clean player. Yeah, so it was a pretty rough match.
Yeah.
But at least we won. That's the main thing.
16-5, yeah, the score.
That stopped at 3-0.
Yeah. And then you played your last game for St Helens in February '64.
That's right, yeah.
You signed for St George in Australia.
Yeah, well, after that third test, I was with the Johnny Raper and Ian Walsh and Gaz in the reception, and me and the wife had been talking about emigrating because I loved Australia, you know, and I thought with me breathing like it was, and we'd agreed that we were going to emigrate. So I just told the boys, and then just like Vince, when I went to St Helens, they said, don't sign for anybody else. St George will buy you. So that's how I got to Saints.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. And it was a world record for you again?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And did it cure you?
I
dry atmosphere.
I still had my inhaler for a few years, and I haven't had an inhaler now for about 20 years. It's gone completely.
Yeah.
I've still got scarring on my lungs because the doctor had to go for an X-ray for them, and he said, "Jesus, his lungs are scarred." And I told him about it. He said, "Yeah." He said, "But they're as good as gold." He said, "Just scars, you know." Mm. Yeah, so I had it pretty bad. And
now we come to the Australian part of your career, and St George had won. How many had they won at that time? Was it about 7 or 8 on the trot?
8.
So they were the big team to play for.
Well, I went for the 9th one, and I played. I went about not quite halfway through the season, and I played the rest of the season, and we played Parramatta in the semi-final, and the silliest incident ever. I heard my knee, I knew the cartilage had gone, I heard it. Mm-hmm. And it didn't, cartilages, you're usually writhing in agony. But it was paining, but it wasn't bad. And I kept on trying to play, and it kept going on me. And I said to Proven, I'd done a cartilage. He said, you wouldn't have done a cartilage standing there talking to me if you'd done a cartilage. Anyway, I finished the game, but I couldn't do nothing. And lo and behold, I'd split it clean in two. That's why there wasn't a lot of pain. There was no rubble in there, nothing. And so for that grand final, I was in hospital getting my cartilage out.
When you arrived, it'd be pretty sensational. With it being the top sport over there,
oh yeah,
and they'd signed probably the best second rower in the world. It'd be pretty sensational.
Yeah, there was a lot of publicity.
So did you get TV cameras at the airport?
Yeah, all that. Yeah, Rex Moss was the radio man then. he interviewed me, and TV man rather, and I was writing a column in the Sydney Sun for a while, and yeah, it was pretty big time. Yeah, the next one you'll be asking me about is the what would that be, 55?
65 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I played all season, and I've got to be careful here now. And on the semi-final, I wasn't in the side, and I didn't find out till I went on the field to train, and I just went, I've hurt my knee, and I come off, and I started getting my training gear off, and Frank Facer, he ran the club, he was the secretary, he said, what's up with you? I said, I'm dropped. And he said, I said, I've hurt my knee. He said, you weren't running. I said, Frank, I've hurt my knee. And he looked at me, he said, fair enough, I don't blame you. And so I didn't even play in the reserve. I should have played in the reserves, but I was that upset I didn't even play in the reserves. That was the end of the 65, and that was Proven's last year as a coach. And next year it was Ian Walsh that thing me, and Gaznier had a bad injury too, and he retired then. And Ian was captain, and me and Ian's always been good mates. And he said to me, "You didn't get you didn't get done to properly last season." He said, "Just perform for me, and you've got no worries." So I played every game that season, never missed a game with injury, and we won the grand final. I scored a try, and then the following year Ian was coach again. Now we're up to what now? 64, 5, 6, 67.
Yeah.
And we got beat in the semi-final. And if Johnny Raper and a bloke called Popper Clay, Brian Clay, he was our standoff, if they hadn't have played, because we were both injured, we would have beaten the side. But the thing was, Raper didn't want to miss the game. He never wanted, I'll give that Johnny, he never wanted to miss a game. But it was Popper's 200th game with the side. And he was frightened we were going to get beat and he wouldn't be able to play again because he was finishing then. Mm-hmm. So he went on, and they weren't fit. If we'd had the reserves, we could have won that, and they would have been fit for the following week, the grand final, and we would have won it again. Yeah. But it didn't happen, so that was the end of our run. Yeah. Yeah. And then, can I say something else? I'll tell you. Yeah. You're on about politics. Then, the following year, Ian gave it away, and who came back? Norm. Right. So it comes the start of the season, and where was I playing? Reserves again. And I'd never missed a game since Ian was there. 2 seasons he coached, played every game. Injury, nothing. I played the lot. And started off in reserves again, and they weren't going too well. They lost about 4 out of the first 6, and I'm playing in reserves, and I forced my way back into the side. They couldn't ignore me, and I had a great season the rest of the season, and that was my last season with them.
Why do you think it was? Was it
with
Norm himself?
I don't know whether, because me and Norm got along well.
Yeah.
With Bert. I don't know whether I played too many winning test sides against him or what, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But he also had a big furniture business. And he used to sell, it was pretty big time. He had about 6 big stores around the city. And one of his main salesmen was a lad called, well, you've heard of him, he played for Australia many times, Elton Rasmussen. Mm-hmm. And Elton was one of his main salesmen. And Elton got the preferential treatment. I'm not whining here now. This is a fact. Mm-hmm. And so I had all that to fight against. Another time, Saints always had 5 or 6 blokes in the test sides, and the Queensland, New South Wales sides, because then it wasn't state of origin, it was thing. And so when they were all on that duty, I had all the reserves in with me. See, when I played when I played with all the stars in, they were all eligible to play for Australia, and they weren't. They didn't throw the ball down and look for you and everything. Everything that I liked in England football, it was they didn't do it over there. They played more for themselves. Now when they weren't in, I was in with a lot of kids out of reserve grade. I used to have my main games, best games, because I was room for me to do what I wanted and show them. And we used to win them all too. We had a great reserve side. And so that was another thing. If I often wished I'd gone to an inferior side. North Sydney wanted me. And if I'd gone to an inferior side, I would have been able to play my own game more.
Yeah.
But I was with that many stars that were all looking after themselves. I don't blame them and trying to keep their places in Australian sides and things like that. So that's just another little if I'd done it, but I mean I didn't do it, did I? Yeah.
No. And did you get any reaction in the press? Because it seemed strange to the press that they were dropping an inform, and probably when you went to them, you were really coming into your prime, weren't you? You were still there.
Yeah,
what were you
yeah.
About 27?
No, I was about 64. Now I was 28.
28.
Yeah.
So you're in your prime as a forward,
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
So what were the press's comments on all?
Well, I don't know. I think a lot of them realised. I know a lot of Australian mates now say to me, "You didn't get the right thing done by you." But there was that many patch. Like I can't believe how petty people can be. There's, for instance, when all the stars were on test duty or something, and I played, I used to inevitably get the best and fairest awards. And there was one St George. He was a member of St George, and he had a jewellers in a place called Cogra, which is in St George district. And he used to have a best and fairest award. And whenever the boys used to win it, they'd get something like a Seiko watch, which was it was the big thing then, them Seiko watches, you know. And I've played in a game with a lot of these young fellas, and I've got the award, so I went down to his shop, and he's gone and he's come back with these set of beads, big paste beads. They'll be worth about £1, I'd say, if they're lucky. And I said, "Thank you very much." And I walked out and I got to the first trash can. I went, put them in the trash can. I thought, how petty can you be? Yeah, so I was up against sort of stuff like that. I had a lot of good friends too, more so than enemies, you know. Yeah. All the players got along famously with, like Raper and Gazin and Billy Smith and all them. Terrific. But just found that it was a bit upsetting, you know.
Yeah. Was there a great difference with that being the top sport in Australia? It was like their football, wasn't it?
It's
on all the pages.
Just rugby league, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different attitude, isn't it? They'd be like superstars.
Yeah, that's right.
In their country, never mind just the rugby.
Yeah, that's right.
So did that make them more petty, do you think, and more
I
protective
don't know.
of their
Yeah,
position, if you like?
I can't understand why, because I was only there to make me few bob and do the best I could. Yeah. You know, I wasn't trying to harm anyone or get in anyone's way. I was just there, and I was out there to live because I emigrated. It just didn't go for the trip.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't just like they do over here, come over, take the cash and run.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So you then called it quits at St George and moved. Did you go into coaching with an Aussie team?
I went in the bush to a place called Dubbo. And it's a pretty big town for a bush town, about 28,000. It was about 250 mile inland from Sydney. And I played coach for 2 years there. And I really enjoyed myself there. I didn't get results. There were wooden spooners when I went there. And I didn't get them going till about halfway through the season. And we finished up about... we just missed out on the top four. They had a top four then. And then the second season, we got in the top four. I think we were about third. But we got knocked out the first game we played. So I improved them, but I didn't win anything with them. But I made that many friends there. I've still got heaps of friends there. I can go up there and hold my head high anytime, and good friends, you know. And I love the way of life. I love the freshwater fishing and that, and the bush life. It's not a bad life. They're pretty laid back.
Yeah. Well, they have an expression, don't they, in Australia? Is gone bush.
Yeah, gone bush. Yeah, yeah, it's good.
And how did the life compared with over here? You know, with the
Well, it was a different lifestyle altogether. They're so casual, you know, and you could go pig shooting and all this, and getting towards autumn, you'd go out and because there's wild pigs everywhere, and you'd grab a couple of little sucklings, and they'd bring them back into town, and they'd corn feed them till Christmas, and that was the Christmas pork, because corn feeding them cleaned them all up and got rid of the worms, and they were beautiful. Yeah, learned to do all that. I wouldn't go and shoot roos though.
no.
I wouldn't shoot anything I couldn't eat.
Did you come back and play some games for Whitehaven?
Yes, I did. My married me in 1970. I come back, and my marriage unfortunately wasn't going too well. And she liked Australia, but she was off a big family and I thought, well, it might fix the marriage up, so we come back. That was the main reason we come back. But it didn't work, so it was futile effort. But I was back down the mines again, and the weather, and I said, oh, what have I done, you know? So then we split up amicably, and we parted, and she had a house that was paid for and everything, so I just left again and went down to London and spent a couple of months there. And a young bloke on that was with us at Earl's Court, he said, I'm going to ring me mum and dad and get them to send me fare. And I said, get them to send mine, just like in fun. He said, they'll send it if you pay them. I said, of course I will if they send it. So that's how I got back to Australia. We climbed off the aeroplane, had a $1 in my pocket and an itching pack, and it was winter, but it was beautiful. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and I thought, this'll do me. I rang Frank Facer up at the Leagues Club, and I said, it's Dick. He said, what are you doing back here? And I explained to him. I said, I haven't got any money, Frank. He said, get a taxi and come in and I'll give you it. So I got a taxi and I went in and got the fare and went out and give him it. And he said, no, Billy Smith, I don't know if you remember the halfback that played for them. He said, Billy and Reg Gaznia, who else was in there? Oh, Harry Eden, he was a first grader, but he wasn't an international. But there was about 5 of them in there, in the bar. So I went through and they're all laughing and yelling and screaming. They said, oh, jeez. And they said, how do you get back? I said, such and such, so I've got $1 left. So they all dipped in their pockets and they give me $20 apiece, $100, and that got me a flat. It got me a deposit on me flat, a flat and everything. And I was away again, just gone. They said, we don't want it back, it's just to get you started. And that was it. I just kicked on again from there, got a job, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, true mates out there when they do something.
Well, that's good, yeah. You couldn't, that was great, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then, so you've been, what have you been doing out there? You're a bit of an artist, aren't you now?
Oh, not really. I do a little bit of watercolour painting, but not much, not very good. But I mean, it's the process of getting through it. I go out in my van sometimes, and I can, over Sunday, and I can cover 200, 300 kilometres. And I'll take me film with the slide films in my old camera, and I take photos of old homesteads and broken down old sheds and all that, and that's what I make my watercolours out of and get my ideas from. So it's a good, keeps me out of the pub.
You want to be selling it. You want to be advertising on the internet, get them on eBay, you get rugby fans, you know, especially.
I don't think they're that good.
Don't know, we've seen them and we like them, yeah, definitely. So, do you come over regular now back to UK?
Well, I come 3 years ago because my mum's 95 now. And I wanted to see her, and I'm going back, and I'm putting her on notice. I said, "No, make sure you're around in 2 years because I'm coming back again because I'm over there and I've got nothing to do with my money. I'm only getting a pension, and but I can't spend it. So what's the use of having it in the bank when you're gonna pump off one time? So I'll just keep coming back here when I've got enough."
Right.
Yeah.
And you went down to Wembley at the weekend?
Went down to Wembley, yes.
Yeah.
Got marched on the field with the rest of the Landstod boys, yeah.
Yeah. How did they treat you, the rugby league?
Very good, very good. I was a bit disappointed there wasn't any after-match reception. I never saw them after the game.
Right.
So I had to go back into town and have a few beers at the hotel where I was staying.
Right.
Yeah.
And were you the oldest
I was, yeah.
one there for the...
Yeah, I was the
Landstod
first
Winners?
walked on.
Right.
Then Neil Fox was after me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
And you're going back to Australia on Wednesday?
That's right, Wednesday, yeah, fly back. Hard work, but I'll get over it.
Yeah. All that remains to be said, Dick, is thanks for coming along today and doing the interview. It's been great.
It's a pleasure, Les.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.